Well, hi, Sasha and Nathan, and it's so great to see you.
You
Yeah,
too.
likewise.
Great. This is our very first intentional life plan walk for a life intended here on Substack, and we're so glad to have you and appreciate you being our guinea pigs on this.
Yeah,
This
thanks.
is going to be quick and painless, I promise. And I've just got four questions, and let's jump right in. Um, Tell us about your ILP, your intentional life plan. How long have you had it, and how's it working for you, and what's been challenging with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we did ours in 2019. We were we've been dating for
5 years.
5 or so years, and it felt like a great way to check in on our long-term goals and values and see, you know, if we were ready for the next step.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was really valuable for us, I
Yeah.
think. It helped facilitate, I think, tough but important conversations that we wanted to have, but maybe didn't even know where to start or what,
Yeah.
I don't know, questions to
Yeah.
ask.
We had started at this type of conversation, but I think it gave us structure and um, helped us dive deeper and made sure that we didn't have any sort of assumptions about um, what we were walking into. So I think from
Yeah.
that, and it was a lot of fun. We kind of made it a
Hmm.
fun thing to do together. Um, and we're both planners. So
Yeah.
I don't know, I had fun with it.
I think the like in principle, it resonated with me at least, just like, oh yeah, like I'm a project manager, I make
Hmm.
project plans. There's all these best practices for
Yeah.
like SWOT analysis and all these strategies for
Yeah.
how to like do business and project plans, but we don't, I like the idea, like, why don't we apply all these like things that are really well thought out and put a like a lot people put a lot of effort into figuring out the best way to do this kind of thing, but we don't apply it to our personal lives as much. So I think
Yeah.
it just was like that's a great premise that resonated with me of like, yeah, let's apply some of this strategy and like goal oriented approach to
Yeah.
our personal life.
Yeah. Both
Yeah.
as individuals and where we were going together. I
Yeah.
think that was interesting was that the exercise wasn't only helpful for us talking and planning as a couple, but it also helped me clarify, oh, what do I see in my future and want in my future?
Yeah. And it was nice that the workbook, the structure was like I think had like an option for couples to fill it out together so we could
Right.
eat like there's places where we each filled out our own things and then brought it
Hmm.
together and see how they compared like our values and there's like
Yeah.
lots of overlap but then places where it's a little bit different and it's just like oh interesting
Yeah.
like I had like family and food and travel as values too but maybe just like different ranking of those
Right.
three but some
Yeah.
minor differences were also nice to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very cool. Well, I think a lot of young couples before they get married or even after they've just got married haven't had some of these conversations before. And it's like, let's talk about it. Or where are we headed? And are we going all those things together? Or are we going to do some things that are a little bit differently aligned? And it's good to provoke those and start talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a cat here who is going to be needy, so
Oh,
let me quickly tell Melinda to come get Edward. Hold on one second. Come get Edward. He's in need of something, but it's not going to happen. Edward, hold on. Um, can you take us on a life plan walk of your timeline? However you want to do that. If your plan is nearby, if you just want to talk about it. When we do our fun shops, it's been kind of the highlight. One of the highlights has been for people to go around and look at each other's life plans and hear about it. So our listeners and Substackers out there are going to be interested to sort of see a little bit what's on your plan and may find it inspiring.
Yeah, I'm happy to take us on a walk. If I can screen share, I can show you. We
Oh,
have a
great.
like, digital version. I will send a request to have
Very
access.
fancy.
Again, at project managers, I think Sasha was using Trello at the time. So Trello is like I guess, a Kanban board
Right.
style project management
Yep.
tool, which just felt like kind of a nice
virtual
user interface,
stickies.
not too overwhelming, I think, but we set it up where we had it's probably very tiny. Maybe not your Substack folks might be able to see it all, but yeah, and I'm not even sure how if I can zoom in at all.
Yeah.
Zoom in. Okay, that kind of works. So there we go.
Oh, great.
This year, 2019, that was our we did the life plan. We got, we like to get what's a freebie? Is that like a bingo? First one
Yes,
set free?
absolutely.
There we go. We got to check a box right away. We wanted to start doing an annual budget. Following the life plan, we got engaged. The goal was to get engaged. We were very transparent with some of this stuff with each other.
Yep.
Like, well, if we're
Yep.
filling this out, let's assume that we're getting together and getting married and all the stuff. So
Although I was surprised.
did I kind of put it on there without proposing yet?
No,
Or
when we actually got engaged, I'm still
I still
surprised.
surprised you with
Yeah.
the engagement? Okay, that's good. Um, we traveled to Italy with Sasha's mom, Makiko, and after we got engaged, we bought a house. So I think we did check some of these boxes after the fact, but these were
Hmm.
all literally just goals that we wanted to accomplish in that year.
Yep.
And we were looking ahead to the next year, getting a new car, getting married, having a kid, getting cats, maybe another new car, maybe Sasha's brother's wedding, because I think they were engaged but hadn't quite had a wedding yet. So we were
Yep.
wondering when it would be scheduled. And then looking out, we just had some of the big birthdays on there, our big ages, milestones, a second kid.
Oh, wow. That was right on time.
Right on. Yeah, we had our first kid, Max, in 2021, second kid, Leo, 2023. So not that we actually hadn't been checking in on it every year, this plan. It was not like it's kind of a happy accident, I guess, that those two
Hmm.
things lined up perfectly. Some work milestones. Maybe we'll circle back to some of this stuff. But yeah, and I was mentioning to you that we booked tickets for Japan for next year. So in 2025, we've made a commitment for international trip in 2026, which is great.
Fantastic.
And then it starts getting pretty like, oh, kids start driving, maybe. It was kind of fun to have these like long-term things on here. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a
Kids
20-year
driving.
anniversary.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, it goes on and on. We die
Yeah.
at some point. So,
One of an interest, so obviously COVID happened in the middle of all that.
Right.
So we did get married in this room actually.
Right.
yeah, we signed the papers
Yeah.
in lockdown.
Yeah. And then we had a delayed celebration in 2025. So that was different. But it's so interesting to see how many of these things actually happened
Yeah.
on time,
Hmm.
including things that were kind of out of our control. Like my brothers ended up moving here, my mom, my dad.
Right. So when we did the life plan, one of the points of like I don't know, kind of somewhat conflict, not bad conflict that came up was that I was clear that I wanted to live in the San Francisco Bay Area near my family, and Sasha wanted to live near her family.
Yeah.
And her family
Hmm.
at the time was in LA and Boston. Her brother was in Boston for a while, planning to move back. So those are not the same place. We're not sure how to
Right.
make that
That is a
work.
challenge.
Um, but I think it was helpful to put that out there so we
Right.
were clear.
Yeah.
It's like connected to some of our top values of family. We both
Right.
had that shared
Right.
value. And I think the solution was that you just drew a vision board where everyone moved here.
Yeah.
So you just
Yeah.
kind of willed it.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt that Max is the first gra-
Grandkid.
grandkid of his generation. I feel like that helped. We bought a house here, and then my sister moved to Marin, and then my parents moved even from San
Yeah.
Francisco to Marin. So like it feels like that first grandkid buying a house here, putting down roots,
Yeah.
I think gave it a sense of permanence,
Yeah.
and that helped draw. Your dad was already in San Francisco, I think, at the time, but helped
Fortuitously.
draw your mom up here, and yeah, and then your brother came back from Boston to San
Yeah.
Francisco. So it all worked out. But
Yeah.
that was definitely outside our control, but still something
Yeah.
that we kind of needed to come through
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other
Yeah.
piece was we had talked about a dream of buying a house. At the time, all of our peers
Mm.
were it kind of felt like an impossibility because the housing market was so expensive in the Bay Area, and we didn't have, we had we were, well on our way in our careers. It just didn't feel like it aligned. We thought, oh,
Right.
are we going to be able to fulfill that dream? And this conversation kind of kickstarted us sharing
Yeah.
more apparently where we were with our whole savings journey, and um,
Yeah.
gave us the framework to kind of just share that with each other. And I think that was helpful and kind of kickstarted actual planning.
Yeah, I don't think we had seriously looked into it. Like,
Hmm.
could we buy a house until we did this? And then we looked into it, it was like, oh, wow, maybe we
Maybe we
can,
can.
which felt like a very pleasant surprise, which
Right.
we didn't think
Yeah.
would feel realistic for being in San Francisco. So yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in this plan that you want to ask about or
Well,
see further, or we can take it to
a
action?
couple things. Do you like when you have something that's kind of you got done that's major in a year that wasn't on here, do you go in and add it?
Well, I'm feeling motivated to revisit this. We
Yes.
haven't really looked at it.
Okay.
Maybe partially because COVID and then first kid and
Yep.
second kids, and we have a 2-year-old and 4-year-old. That's an easy excuse for lots of things, but I'm motivated to get back in here. And yeah,
Yeah.
with this style, it is nice just to say international trip. I can just like drag this over here. Now it's in 2026, which is kind of a fun way to do it.
Yep.
Japan.
And I
Yeah.
think I was going to just check off like, okay, maybe you're not director, but we can just say you are chief of staff. Is that what I don't know how to
Hmm.
say it?
Hmm.
Chief of staff.
Hmm.
And I think I just marked that as complete
Yep.
today, which is nice. So yeah, it's easy to,
Yeah.
yeah, I like to check the boxes. That's why I gave myself that freebie.
Hmm.
But yeah, we can drag things around, add some things.
Yeah.
One thing I was wondering about those, sometimes it's nice to have a record of what we had initially in 2019, and that might get a little bit lost.
Yeah.
So another approach you might have is to, I'm thinking just like duplicate this
Yeah.
and make like a
Color code.
2025 update version
Yeah.
where we
Yeah.
then drag it around so we
I
have
like that.
2019 for kind of reflecting on
Yeah, it's
later on.
kind of nice to compare planned versus actual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is fun, and then it's neat. You can move it like a sticky note in
Mhm.
Trello, and update it. And do you both share this document in Trello?
Yeah.
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 I saw your initials there, so that's okay, perfect. It's very cool, and it's good you're having this conversation. Some of our alumni, and was just got a text from some this weekend that were had gone away to a resort for a weekend to do some planning. I know it's a little harder when you've got two kids, unless you can take a grandparent to babysit or somebody else, but
Mhm.
it's also kind of fun. I'm going to propose that to Melinda that we kind of get away and do some fantasy, some sort of imagineering. I would say,
Yeah.
like, what do we want to do? What's happening next?
Yeah, and yeah, this is definitely something I want to come back to. We felt like some of this happens on a smaller scale with us trying to at least keep up with an annual budget. Like, let's check
Yeah,
in on budget. Like, what's our goals for the year in terms of
yeah,
maybe savings goals, but that leads to travel goals or some other things that might be coming up.
yeah,
But it doesn't feel quite as because it's very different feeling of like a budget driven planning approach versus more goals oriented, values oriented planning approach.
yeah.
So yeah.
Do you have a financial planner? Have you ever shared this plan with that person?
We don't have a financial planner. We used, I think, a Google budget template, like a
Okay.
personal budget in Google that was like a pretty robust template that we try to just update in terms of like our annual
Yeah.
monthly expenses and things like that.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Mhm.
excellent. No, our very first fun shop that we did, we had a couple that came, and the first thing they did was they had sticky notes just for financial things that they needed to get done in order to make other things happen. Others are not quite so formal about it, but it's interesting. How do you integrate that?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
It's a huge piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Uh,
like next will be retirement and house stuff. And yeah, we're definitely due for an
yeah.
update.
I feel like now that
yeah.
house, so like there's all these probably all the whole section on like house projects. I mean, like we need a new
Yeah.
shed or we need
Yeah.
to whatever a new roof at some point. There's some things probably throw on here, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea to put them in here. And I do think, it's been working for you that just by writing some of these things down, things have happened. And it's happened because you've made it happen. And maybe some of your family members saw it or heard from you that, hey, we're thinking about moving to Marin. And then all of a sudden they're going, if they're moving there, we've got
Well,
to,
yeah, your parents sold their house and moved. Your sister also moved to Tiburon.
yeah,
Everybody moved. It's kind of,
It we have everybody, parents and sibling. Well, maybe your brother's everyone's within 15 minutes except your brother who's like 30 minutes,
yeah.
which is a dream come
yeah,
true. Amazing.
yeah.
But yeah, and yeah, going back to especially useful when we did it right before we got engaged, we felt like we were aligned, and you just felt like it took out a lot of the mystery out of
Yeah.
and just brought some
Yeah.
more certainty and
Yeah.
Yeah. Another, I
yeah.
think, really important part of that conversation was talking about how we want to care for our parents as they age. That was a really big one.
Big one.
So we put it all on the table and said, this is how I envision that happening. Are you okay with that from a financial perspective and um, where everyone's going to live perspective, etc. So that
Mhm.
was also really helpful to put on the table. So there's no surprises.
Yeah. Yeah, we had, like you do, we had our parents' ages on there. So we knew when they were going to be 80 that we needed to be around them and there to support them. We didn't get to some of the deeper things like, do they have a financial plan or what's their care plan? And so we hadn't had some of those conversations until things got pretty ripe, quote
Mhm.
unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
cool.
but I felt like that was just a really valuable time to do this plan.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's why I think I had mentioned that we had done it to a few people in our family. And then yeah, cousins brought it up like, hey, you mentioned doing some life planning thing, and I feel like it
Mhm.
could be a good time for me to do it. What was that? And so it's definitely been something I've been happy to refer folks to,
that's
family
neat.
members
And friends.
and even colleagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, just told my boss
Yeah.
about having this conversation and pointed him in the direction of this thing. He's like, "Oh, cool! I wanted to
Yeah.
have a conversation like this. This could be a good tool."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Very
so
cool. I know you've taken the digital approach with this, and I know of other alumni that have done that. Did you ever have a physical plan hanging in your house and the digital piece, is that working?
uh,
We started with post-it notes
Yeah.
in the book. So we started with writing things and
Yeah.
then moved it to
And moved it
Trello.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we filled it all on sticky notes in the book, thinking, "Oh, then the book's still kind of clean for the most
Yeah.
part." So we like redo it in the book a
Yeah.
few years later or
Yeah.
something. But so I think
Mhm.
we need to find the book. It's somewhere around here. Probably still has all the stickies in there. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll open it and it'll fall
Yeah.
out. But
It's fun going back. Melinda just found a couple of our previous life plans in the
Oh,
shed that are,
nice.
here's our 2014, and I can't wait to unroll it and look at what's on there and finding old notes. It's very cool. What advice would you give to people about having an intentional life plan?
that it's uh, awesome and useful and practical. And I feel like everyone should do one that's
Yeah.
interested.
I'd say just start. Like,
Yeah.
don't overthink it. Don't like, I feel like sometimes people feel like it's intimidating. They need to have a lot of things organized, but I think it's just start. Like, whatever you've got, there's no right or wrong answers.
Put it on the calendar. I think we picked a few days where we had uninterrupted time. I think that was advice in the workbook itself, but
Yeah,
we didn't follow it to a T. We tried to make it fit
Yeah.
our schedule, and then we tried to make it fun too.
yeah. Yeah, we have it on our calendar to meet, and I can't check anything off unless Melinda's there, and we have to keep it legible so we can see it there. And it's rather fun. Like we just checked off our last two for the year, and it's like, holy cow, we got 15 done. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Just start though. I love that. You don't need to overthink it. I think one of the things I've heard from some people is they've just never had time or never thought about like, why am I here? What is this life? And so for some, that's a bit of a hurdle to overcome,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is
And that's
nice.
okay too, I guess. Like, just start. And then if you need to pause and like think about something for a week,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fine. Like, back to it next week. But yeah, I think like just starting and then I think it'll motivate you to keep going. Like you
Yeah.
start like, oh, this is interesting, and
Yeah.
then or like, oh, I did a quick pass, but like for
Yeah.
us pulling it up again, I want to come back and like do it over again or
Yeah.
make updates. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, go ahead,
It's
Sasha.
it's not about, yeah, don't let perfect be the enemy of the good. And it just gives you clarity about where you're at now. And
Yeah.
then can even reveal to you, oh, I don't have this figured out. And that in and of itself is useful, I think.
Yeah. Very good. Fantastic. Last question. What does intention mean to you?
Mm, it's a good question. I think for me, it means I'm just processing out loud, checking in with yourself about what are your desires, what's important to you, what's your purpose, and um, writing it down and sort of not being on autopilot, constantly checking in with yourself about what it is you want to move towards, and then making concrete plans towards getting there and aligning that your actions with those
Yeah.
plans. Something like that. I don't know.
Well
yeah.
said.
My head was going similar, like not being on autopilot is kind of how I was
Mhm.
thinking about it too.
Yeah.
It's about choosing, which I think
Yeah.
to me, I think this comes up for a lot of people right now with
Mhm.
like cell phone addiction is like I think like an example of a lack of intention, or like not being able to have control over your attention and where you put your attention, this kind of
Mhm.
intentionality. And so I think that's an example of where
Yeah.
people I think want to have intentionalities, like where they put their attention. And that is where, what we have in this life, I
Yeah.
feel like is our attention and our time.
Yeah.
And using it intentionally will, I think,
Yeah.
lead us to happier experiences and a happier life. So
Yeah. And alignment comes
yeah.
up for me too. Sometimes I think um, there's just lack of alignment between how you're living your life and your values. And I think intention helps you align those things, which to me is kind of at the source of being feeling content for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good question.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like I need
That's
to come back to
Yeah.
you next week on that one. Think
Yeah.
about that all next week.
well, it's a beautiful thought, and I think as we end one year and we begin another year, it's a really good time now to think about, how are we doing? Is this where we want to be? Is this where we want to be going? What are we ignoring? What haven't we gotten to, and why haven't we gotten to it?
Mhm.
It's just a really good time to sort of say, okay. I always turn to Melinda and say, "Are you happy? Are you
Mhm.
happy with our life right now? Or is there something we need to change or do differently?" And it provokes a really good discussion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it reminds
thank
me of
you.
that delayed gratification
Oh
marshmallow
yeah.
experiment too. I feel like that
Yeah.
like sometimes people who are more successful in life are the
Yeah.
ones who didn't eat like the marshmallow right away and waited 10 minutes to get
Yeah.
two marshmallows. Like, yeah, maybe that's like the intentionality of like
Yeah.
thinking a little bit more long term, not just the immediate gratification of right
Right.
now.
Trying to get over cheap dopamine.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you
Yeah.
can choose that too,
Yeah.
but whatever
Yeah.
is aligning with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think though the other thing, we were all, a lot of us were taught early on that, we should save for the future, save for retirement, and all that stuff. When you do some of that, it also really works. It's been fascinating, if you've got a financial plan. And we've sort of heard through some survey work that younger people are more apt to have a financial plan than people in their 50s and 60s and so on. So it's great when people have done some thinking about that and put some stuff aside. It's
Yeah.
great. Well, I want to just thank you very much for talking to us and being our first participants in our life plan walk. Thank you for sharing your life plan. It's going to be inspirational for a lot of people, and wish you luck in updating. Have fun with it. I loved you, Sasha, saying fun, because this is fun, because it's about creating this wonderful life that we want to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks for
Yeah.
creating this framework,
Yeah.
sharing it with the
Yeah.
world and us. And yeah, we love it. We love you and Melinda.
Yeah.
We
And
love you too, very much, very much. And hi to the wonderful kids, and we'll see you in 2026. Have
great.
a great trip to Japan.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Perfect.
All
Bye.
right. Bye, you guys.